Hearing the voice of God was difficult for me until I did this. I know many of you are struggling. You are wondering, how does God speak? Does God truly speak? Can I hear the voice of God? See, let me tell you, I've been in that situation before. I was struggling to hear the voice of God. See, I'm a born prophet. Now, being a born prophet doesn't mean you should not grow in the gift. Doesn't mean you should not advance. You should not steal the gift. So you have to continuously learn in order for you to improve and understand how God works. So hearing the voice of God was difficult for me. I struggled. I was like, what is God saying? God has spoken, but I did not know that God has spoken. And what am I going to do? I now learned what to do. Now, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell? So whenever I drop a new video, you'll be the first person to be notified. And if you've not joined my prophetic school, use the link below to join my prophetic school and get my prophetic course. Thank you and God bless you. Now, this is what I did in order for me to be able to understand this is what God is saying. First of all, I first try to understand what kind of person I am. How do I do my stuffs? What kind of things do I like? Because I tend to understand that God will use everything concerning you to speak to you. So the moment I now understood my kind of person, I understood, oh, this is the kind of person I am. The hearing the voice of God started becoming clearer. Now, the next thing I did was learning to quiet the noise in my soul, in my mind. I learned to quiet the noise in my mind. I can stay in a noisy environment right now. Things are going on. I will still hear God. Those of you that know me, those people that are around me, they will tell you that I'm one of the sharpest prophets. I can tell you what God is saying right now. You can call me right now and ask me, what is God saying concerning my life? I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. And I will tell you immediately why. Because I've learned to quiet my mind and hear God. So I learned it. It wasn't easy, but I learned to quiet my mind. I learned it. I learned how to be still. This is what I do. This is what I did. So every morning when I wake up from sleep, the first thing I do is I was practicing on how to quiet the noise. Then the next thing I did was I went to a noisy environment and also learned how to quiet my mind in a noisy environment. Despite the fact that there are noises everywhere. There are noises everywhere. So what I do is in a noisy environment, I try to shut the noise. Try to shut down the external voices that are coming in and look within. I have to learn how to stay within, go down inside of me, look within me and hear the voice of God. So God is speaking to you every time, but the problem is, number one, either you've not identified the kind of person you are, because there can never be two kinds of prophets. The way I prophesy is totally different from the way you prophesy. The way God will interact with you is totally different from the way God will interact with me. Because why? We are created and we are unique in our different ways. So when you are trying to be like somebody else, you tend to miss the voice of God, because God will work with you based on who you are. Your uniqueness is very important to God. So many people are struggling. That is why you have been struggling, because number one, you've not really identified who you are. You don't know your uniqueness. You don't know how. You've not mastered yourself. So in order for you to hear God clearly, the first thing you need to do is to master yourself. Know the kind of, are you a very impatient person? Do you do things logically? Stuff like this are very important. Now when you master this thing, the next thing you have to do is to learn to quiet the noise in your mind. So when God is speaking, you will know. And you need to understand that once you've mastered yourself, you know God will always speak to you through how you are, your uniqueness. That's what God will use to speak to you. The way God spoke to Elijah and the way God spoke to Elisha was totally different. Totally different. It was different. It can come through the same channel. Yes, it can come through the same channel, but the approach will be different. Maybe you need something to help you. The other person may not need it. To you, you are more of a hearing person than a seeing person. So God will tend to speak more than you that you see visions. So it's not as if you don't see visions. You will see visions. But your main mode of communication with God will be hearing. So when you hear, you see a vision. So this is what happens. Many of you do not understand. So when God speaks to you, immediately you see a vision. Now, if you're a person that sees vision, when God shows you a vision, immediately you hear. So what happens is God will use the channel that is more unique to you very well and speak to you. So the moment God speaks through that channel, the other channel will pick the same signals. So when you see a vision, you will hear it. So if you hear, you will see a vision. So if I talk now, as I'm talking to you, I say a cup, immediately I will say a cup. That is the same way God works. So you need to understand these things about yourself. The moment you understand this thing, these are the things I did in order for me to be able to become very accurate and detailed in the prophetic. And I now learned how to quiet the noise in my soul. And naturally, I'm a kind of person, I don't like noise. So next, now saying in an example, I'm in a place whereby there is noise. So won't I be able to hear God? So that means I will struggle. What did I do? I have to learn how to quiet my mind, how to quiet the noise in my soul environment. In a noisy environment, I have to learn it. I have to practice it. So that even when I'm in a noisy environment and God is speaking, I will hear. So these are the two things you need to understand. These are the two things I did. And when you follow the same procedure, I bet you, hearing the voice of God will become easier for you. You won't struggle. Thank you for watching this video. I know this video has blessed you, Lord. Use the link below to join my prophetic school and get my prophetic course. Do not miss it. Join my prophetic school now. God bless you.